Well, Michael, I wanted to bring you to talk about the men's experience, and I just have to say, every time I give an interview, there's always this question that pops up: How do men experience childlessness? Are there groups? Do they gather together? Some people even ask me, why don't you start a group for men? And actually, I tried a couple of times, and we had a couple of dinners with couples, childless couples in Montreal. But my feeling when I get that answer, when I get that question, is that the answer I give is that men don't obviously don't experience this the same as women, and I'm not sure they feel the need to being brought together in a big group and share their feelings. But you know, like I say, I don't quite know. So I wanted to bring that to the table to you and just have your say on this, because you know better than me about the man's experience. So what do you think?
Okay. So in terms of how we experience the childlessness, is first one is hopelessness, because most guys are fixers. If they've got a problem, they want to sort it out. They want to fix it.
Yeah.
And so as a man, and you can't fix it, you feel inadequate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's going on the inside.
Yeah.
Then of course, there's the grief as well, but we're very good at keeping that. We're very good at keeping it bottled up and deep inside.
Yeah.
So what that can look like in the middle of all this is that we don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Vicky once said to me that, she said, you know, when I was at my lowest and I was grieving, she said, you didn't. And I felt so alone, even within our marriage, because it looked like you didn't care. And that's, I can understand why she feels that way,
Mm-hmm.
or she felt that way. But from my perspective, I could see our world crumbling around us, that could fall into an absolute endless pit of despair, that I needed to keep going. We needed to push through this and keep going. And so that's how I thought that I was showing my support, by doing something. Let's move through. Let's keep going. Let's push through, because things will get better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also follows on to why most guys won't get together, is because this whole movement is being pushed by you lovely females, but you talk about your feelings, you vent to each other about how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Men can't do that because they don't want to open themselves up for ridicule. They don't want to show weakness, because if they show weakness, it will be like they're giving in to this situation. So from their perspective, they're trying to just push through. Let's make it to the next step. Let's make it a little bit further. And so you can see why that can perhaps look like we don't care.
Mm.
So Jodie Day said to me probably 18 months ago, we had a conversation, and she said exactly the same thing. Michael, why don't you start a group? And I said, well, see, Jody, the thing is that guys we don't want to talk about our feelings because we don't know how another person's going to look at us and judge us. You know, they might see us as weak, and that is not how men, or on the whole, are socialized.
Mm-hmm.
We're socialized to be a strong,
Yeah.
you know, to be strong. I made an analogy about when I played rugby. You know, you actually get absolutely smashed up, but you've got to get up and you've got to keep going and you've got to win.
Yeah.
And that, if that is probably the best analogy I can explain about how. So for me, it was about our win was about getting through and just get through this period and then live life. So as I was saying to Jody, it's not going to work because men aren't going to sit around and talk to themselves. So I thought about it, and Jody and I actually discussed it because it's more around how I'll put it this analogy. You've got a shed to be built in your back garden, and your husband says, I'll call some of my mates over and we'll build this together. That is how men connect, and that is how men support each other. They need to have something to do,
Okay.
be it a sport, playing in a soccer team, a rugby team, or a football team, be it have a common goal. About 30 kilos ago, I was riding my bike a lot, and I used to go every Saturday with my friends, and we would cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we were doing something together because it was a team sport. You know,
Yeah.
the strongest at the front, the weakest got behind, and everyone pulled together, and that's how men bond, and that's how we develop a trust with each other, because we observe each other and how they behave, and then we may open up. And so,
Very interesting, Michael. Thank you.
yeah, so I think that's because I'll just keep rambling. I'll just keep talking. I think
No,
that's
but
probably,
thank you. Now it's clearer for me. Yeah.